All right, family. Black Power. Black Power is the true power with General Sarasun said he kick back, get your mind ready for some information that's guaranteed to be heavy. I'm excited and delighted to be accepting members to not only the Sarasun Seti YouTube page, but the General Seti YouTube page, two dynamic powerhouse institutions on YouTube, giving you nothing but black power, black divinity. I want you to subscribe immediately. I want you to become a member. The link for the membership right down in the video description. It's in the chat. All you had to do is just click it. You get a video introduction, rundown on the memberships, what they entail. You see one you like, you should most definitely join. Even if you don't, I appreciate your presence here at the Sarasun Seti General Seti YouTube page. Continue to engage, continue to advance. That's right, family. The General got a new website up on Teachable, uploading a lot of dynamic curriculums, powerhouse programs, certificate courses. First one up, 25 steps to the redemption of definitive black manhood, designed by the General, strictly for the brothers. It's an amazing, amazing course. You can get a preview. Click that link in the chat. Also included the Brotherhood of Hebrew Roundtable live stream, where the brothers meet once a week discussing very vital, important, and powerful information pertinent to our growth and development. Get on over there, get a preview, check it out, family. Become a brother, become a member today. Ring the alarm, KingSeti.com, online marketplace, official General Sarasun Seti DVD lectures, t-shirts, tank tops, hoodies, African and Kemetic jewelry, holistic tonics and remedies, home decor, accessories for every room in the house. I got something for your family. I know you're going to like and love. Get on over there. Check out that catalog. Get a discount. Shop and save and shop. Pull the fire alarm, GeneralSeti.com. Seti University, over 2,500 videos, 40 different subjects, all the subjects that you know and love, from the General Omega, Voyages of the Nile, Egypt, ruled the earth, Nubia, mother of ancient Egypt. We got all the religions, Christianity, Judaism, Islam, black woman is God, making of the white man, Freemasonry exposed, hip-hop, occult, and so much, much more. Not another website nowhere on the planet that could compare or compete. You should become a member today. And everybody know the General popping on Patreon. We got 5 dropping today. 7 sanctuaries of the Abydos Temple, the spiritual stargates to the constellations of chaos. It's going to blow the mind. You should most definitely click that link at the top of the chat. Also today, ancient Egypt military colony of Mother Ethiopia. Man, this is going to be powerful. They coming back to back, already up there on fire. The power of the old kingdom. Kemet is the goal to civilizations, period. Mind-blowing pyramid age. That's fire. Going, we got about 3, we got 4 new ones up there right now. So go get them hot meals, family. And to all the family out there donated to the General, thank you, appreciate you. Those would like to donate, the link is right there in the chat, and I do appreciate you. Make sure you subscribe to all my YouTube channels. King Seti, General Seti, Sarasun Seti. Rock that notification bell. Get a video a thumbs up. Like it because you love it. Share it with your family and friends. And comment. Just don't say nothing stupid, because I will ban your ass. Here we go, family. Now, they're saying that, and I've heard this, many, many times, that, that there was some Egyptian hieroglyphs that had been found in the Grand Canyon. And I just, I never seen nobody back it up, but people, when they creating this narrative, you know what I'm saying, that this was, one of the capitals of Atlantis, Lemuria. You see what I'm saying? Between the two of them, that this was the continent, and that when the Lemurians, sunk, they came to North America, and and when the Atlanteans, had some interaction with North America, and so to me, I say, oh, they trying to create a narrative. You know what I'm saying? Because they always want you to believe that somehow the remnants of Atlantis left this area of the world, went to Egypt, and they say that the Mayans is older than the Egyptians and all of this shit. And so for me, it was like, oh, they trying to perpetrate the fraud. They trying to create a narrative by way saying that there's some Egyptian hieroglyphs or this, that, and the third over here in the Grand Canyon. But, when you think about the Olmec, and the Olmec's civilization was heavily influenced with Nile Valley technology. It's just no refuting that. You see, just no refuting that. And that the technologies existed in the Nile Valley. We talking about 6,000 and 7,000 years, 8,000 and 9,000 years before the Olmecs even got their hands on it. You see, so it ain't no, it's no controversy on who came first. There's no controversy who elevated the technology to the highest level. There's no controversy in that. And so, I say, what, it's a possibility. But the thing, like I said, because, I do research and I'm going to ask questions that matter. Now, we know the Grand Canyon is far west. It's far west, going west. And so, the closest, route to America from Egypt is through the Mediterranean, you know what I'm saying, down through the Atlantic into America. That's just the easiest way. You see, so the thing is, if they came that route, then you would expect that there would be remnants of the hieroglyphs, Egyptian technology on the East Coast first. That's just like when the colonists from Europe came over here. The original 13 colonies is on the eastern seaboard where they first land. That's what people gonna do. Militarily, that's what you gonna do. When you land somewhere you ain't been, and this is new land and you don't know what's in the interior, you gonna build your original your campgrounds. You see, your original is gonna be right there on the water. You see, right there, because in case you got to get the fuck up off of that motherfucker, you don't want to. You're not gonna build your home, your headquarters, home base, deep in the fucking in the goddamn landmass, where if motherfuckers get on your ass and you got to get that don't make sense. So you, of course, militarily, you gonna set up right there where you land. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna be far from that goddamn boat. You feel me? If you got to roll your ass and get back to the big boat, you gonna do that and get the fuck up out of there. And so if the Egyptians, had come, and that's what makes sense when you look at the Olmec, you know what I'm saying? They were right there on right there at Levanta, right off this the Gulf of Mexico, America, whichever one right there. They was right off the water. You see, that's where they was, and that's where the Olmec heads was looking towards the water. So for me, if it was anything that could possibly be in the Grand Canyon, then you would expect, just like when the colonists got over here, we was here before they got here, but you could see the wave of how they came. The first 13 colonies right on the seaboard. And then the next states was right behind the original 13 colonies. And then the next states was behind the second row of colonies. So you saw how it was, the momentum, direction of how they, colonized the country was from east to west. So if any type of Egyptian hieroglyphs in the Grand Canyon, then you would expect that it would be evidence, all through the eastern seaboard before you get to the Grand Canyon. You mean to tell me, because that's deep west. You know what I'm saying? How you mean to tell me they came to this landmass and they went all the way to the Grand Canyon before they left any evidence, that don't make sense to me. So, I say, well, but I'm willing to look. I'm willing to look at what they, what they presented. And so finally, I did get a hold to, some literature, some videos and shit. And it wasn't, it wasn't official. You know what I'm saying? When they show news reports and shit like that, it looked like it could be fabricated. It looked like, you know, back in the day when we used to read comic books and shit. In the back of the comic books, they would have like all type of shit you could buy. Back then, it wasn't no TV, you know, where you could order off a TV, but a lot of the crazy shit like you see in Spencer's and little eyeglasses, they had all type of X-ray glasses and all type of shit in the back of the goddamn shit you get at Spencer's and these other places. You had to order that shit in the back of the goddamn comic books back then. And so when I looked at some of the news reports on this shit, it looked like some shit in the back of a comic book. I'm just gonna be 100. It wasn't like it was on the front, of the Wall Street Journal or the New York Times and something. It was some obscure shit, and that people couldn't locate. The original. Now I can check and see if the Smithsonian or anything has has it on file. Now, if they got it on file, that's something different. But it was called, what was it called? I forget it, but they're going to say it in this video. And so, and that's, and I think people didn't already did that, and that they couldn't find no original publication. You see, they couldn't find no original publication. What found? Yeah, hold on, drive through the Grand Black unmarked government vehicles come out and tell you to turn around or is record. Now that's true. Now that part is true. You see what I'm saying? But at the same time, that it could be speculation on that. You know what I'm saying? They very well could have some type of base in that motherfucker. And the Grand Canyon, all type of shit. As far as it being volcanoes up under it could be all type of minerals and shit that could be up under there and shit. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, they're gonna hide. They're gonna have to. To me, it is null and void because you still got the old Mecca and shit and all of that. They're just like and I ain't trying, if for any of the family out there believe it, cool. Go with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying neither. I'm not giving a okay. I'm not saying that it's false, but you got old Mecca down Arizona Gazette. Yeah, that's it. You got the old Mecca and shit. And so it ain't, even if it was something, it wouldn't be fundamentally different than any other Egyptian. That's just like they say, oh, it's a city up under the pyramid. Okay, it don't look no different than nothing else. They had the same language and shit. You see the same medunet all over the walls. So if you go down there, what you gonna see? You ain't gonna see nothing no different you see above. You see what I'm saying? So you got the old Mech, and they tried to hide that, but eventually it came out. So I can't see it being so. I mean, if they did find something, it couldn't have been no different than nothing else. It still wouldn't have been the greatest of all the Egyptian, artifacts. Egypt is still the greatest. I mean, that's where the greatest of the artifact. That's where all the kings were. So even if they did find something over here, it ain't gonna outshine what you got in Egypt, and it ain't gonna outshine what you got down there with the old Met. You feel what I'm saying? So if they wanted to hide that, because you know what I'm saying, that's where if they wanted to hide something, that's what they should have hid. They should have never, they shouldn't have never let people see that. You feel what I'm saying? Let's go to these videos real quick, family. Here we go. But I ain't telling you not to, and I'm not dismissing. I'm not dismissing it neither. You see, I'm gonna continue to look, at this point, but it seems to be far-fetched. I will say that. I will say it seemed to be far-fetched, because a lot of reason why they don't let people. They might got some oil in that motherfucker. They might got diamond mines. They might got emeralds and shit down in there. They might have an army base. They might have a hope, you know. So it might be some shit down there that ain't got nothing to do with that. And it could be valuable to them, and they just don't want your ass over there. They got shit all over the United States where you can't go. You feel what I'm saying? So I mean, that's just what it is, you know. And they could be hiding some guy, and it's a possibility. I won't write it all off, but it's far-fetched. Let's go with it, family.
Explorers G.E. Kincaid and S.A. Jordan requested funding from the Smithsonian Institution for a journey into the Grand Canyon. As they steadily made their way down the Colorado River,
let me start it over, fam.
1908, explorers G.E. Kincaid and S.A. Jordan requested funding from the Smithsonian Institution for a journey into the Grand Canyon. As they steadily made their way down the Colorado River, Kincaid noticed hundreds of steps carved into the sandstone. Intrigued, they went up to investigate, only to find something even odder, the entrance to a man-made cave. Inside the massive cavern, they were astounded to find Egyptian hieroglyphics and artifacts strewn throughout the mysterious complex. It is said they returned with hundreds of objects and pictures, which they then gave to the Smithsonian. An April 5, 1909 Arizona Gazette article recounts the amazing journey, going as far as claiming that a large Buddha statue was also discovered. The Smithsonian denies any knowledge of the expedition or its participants. However, inconsistencies in their story over the years have fueled speculation that something magnificent was indeed found.
Let's go to the next one. Let's go to the next one.
Sealed caves.
Vanished explorers. Why is the Grand Canyon off limits?
Explorer G.E. Kincaid claimed he found a hidden city carved into the canyon walls, filled with mummies, golden artifacts, and Egyptian hieroglyphs. He worked with the Smithsonian. His discovery should have made headlines. Instead, it vanished, and so did he.
Was there any evidence he was telling the truth?
An old Arizona Gazette article briefly reported it, then nothing. Years later, independent explorers tried to retrace his path, but the cave was sealed. The U.S. government blocked off the area, citing public safety, armed guards, no-fly zones. Something was being hidden.
Has anyone found it again?
In 2023, a drone captured leaked footage of a massive stone door marked with what appeared to be ancient Egyptian symbols. It went viral. Internet sleuths claimed it referenced a Skygate, a portal created by a lost race before recorded history. Carbon dating suggested the stone was older than the pyramid.
They always talking about the stone was older than the pyramid, but the Egyptian goddamn hieroglyphics is on it. You see what I'm saying? If it's older than the goddamn pyramid, then how in the fuck is gonna have Egyptian writing on it? You see what I'm saying? Y'all motherfuckers tripping. You know what I'm saying? Y'all motherfuckers tripping with that. I got to see the drone. They say the drone, yeah. They say the drone flew over the motherfucker, and I got to look that up. I want to see what this drone recorded. You know, I got to see this shit. Okay. And so we'll come back on this. We're gonna double back on this. You know, I'm gonna see what they saying, and we're gonna fact check. And I'm gonna come right back, family. So if anybody out there, you want to do a little research between now and tomorrow, I'm gonna double right back. And if anybody want to bring, you seen it, Todd? Is it official? That's all I want to know, Todd. Is it official? I'm gonna see. I might take your word. And only to go do some research. Now, if you say you've seen it, then I'm gonna go do some serious research. I want to see it my goddamn self. You put that in there, and I'm gonna play this segment. If you seen it, goddamn it, drop the link in then.
Will not allow us to fly.
Oh yeah, I
over
seen
this
that.
area right here. This is where the Egyptian cave is supposed to be.
Yeah, there's the circle.
I seen that one where they showed the what it looked like as a pyramid atop like a mountain, you know, one of the areas over there. Okay. But that's, you know, I mean, these is natural occurrences. They do that in Egypt now. Go, yeah. I seen that. But it's a formation in the mountains. You feel me? It's a formation in the mountains. And so, I mean, they got that all over the world, though. You know what I'm saying? They got that all over the world, but we'll see. We'll look into it a little heavier. All right, here we go. The last video, family.
So you're saying that the government will not allow us to fly over this area right here? This is where the Egyptian cave is supposed to be?
Yeah, there's the circle of rocks from our campsite.
Is there any way that we could get down on that plateau just above it? Could you land there?
We can land on the top. I can get you on that plateau right over there.
Okay.
The oral stories of the Zuni and other tribes around the Grand Canyon clearly suggest that some people came here, that there are many caves here, but there may be caves that housed ancient cultures and maybe artifacts, possibly the Egyptians.
Brother said, I think the Egyptians were mining cobalt, copper, and other minerals and built a base city and eventually left. And white people rediscovered it in the 1900s and continue what the Egyptians started. It's a possibility. I'm not saying that's logical. I mean, that could be some logic in that. You know what I'm saying? I would have to look into it. Now, if you say motherfuckers was over here floating in caves and shit, you know what I'm saying? And you know, and star beams was coming out the sky and motherfuckers was spinning in the air and shit, I'd be very skeptical. But that I would have to look into it because they were going around the world mining for minerals and shit like that. They were. You know, they were all up in Russia. They was up in goddamn Europe. They was up in Russia, and they had went all over the world. So, but again, you talking about deep into the canyon, and I would have to see some evidence of Egyptian civilization from the eastern seaboard up into that point. You're not going to go that far without establishing bases in between. You feel me? So you could get back. You feel me? Okay, we're going to walk so many miles every, you know what I'm saying? Every 5 miles, not even 5 miles, every 2 miles. We're gonna set up a camp, and this going to be a point, and then we're going to walk and we're going to chart it, and we're going to go all the way over. That's how you do shit. You don't just walk straight to the motherfucker. You understand what I'm saying? You don't just walk straight to the motherfucker. You got to have a way to get back. So every mile, every 2 miles and shit, you gonna build something. You know what I'm saying? Some type of marker. You feel me? So that when you get ready to come back the other way, you know what it is. You feel me? It would be some form of evidence. So I just got to, I got to do some research. Supply line. Extra money, you came with that file right there. You drop it down. That's right. The supply line. All right, family, I appreciate it. We coming black tomorrow. I'm gonna double right back on some of these videos because I want to, one little video ain't enough. We got to see if people gonna come back with some information. So anybody believe it, come with it. We want to know. It ain't like we want to know. All right, family, we got some more fire. I want you to get on over there to Patreon. Make sure you click that link at the top today. Most definitely today we got that fire. We're going to be doing the 7 sanctuaries of Abydos Temple. Man, this is fire. I'm telling you, the ancient Egypt military colony of Mother Ethiopia. This is military geography. So most definitely you want that geography, military geography. You want to be in the house for this. All right, family, I'll see you right black. We coming right black with some fire, so don't you go nowhere. Arm yourself with knowledge. Bang on that wicked ass beast daily. Liberation through African education and confrontation. Black power.